Hello, you're listening to ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by the future galactic hero of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, Sean.
Not future, current.
Yeah?
Current and happy.
You did Galactic Hero?
I think I have it once, yeah. That's where you get like 9999999.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have, yeah.
I did too, but I think it's because...
I cheated.
I think the machine was broken. What do you mean by cheated?
There's certain targets that give you...
Yeah,
like,
that's just gamesmanship.
I did my own research.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so you're saying... But it's not like you used, You used Game Shark to level up your Pokemon.
I didn't use any modified blasters.
Yeah.
No.
You took apart the blaster and
he's got a scope on that. It's like guys that bring their own pool cue to the billiard hall. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, is that corked? what's in that cue?
Is that regulation?
Well, and we're also joined here today by our official Sam fan with a Dole Whip problem, JJ.
Yeah, those are both true statements.
We got Sam Eagle.
Sam Eagle.
Your wife, Sam.
Correct.
In that
and
order.
Trader Sam.
Trader Sam. Yeah, these are... Wait, not in that order.
He agreed on air.
In today's episode, the Geeks share how we turn a Disney skeptic into a full-fledged Disney adult. It's no secret that Walt Disney World has a devoted fan base. From families planning their once-a-year vacation to folks who visit so often that they know the best bathroom in every park. But not everyone gets it. Maybe you've got a friend who just doesn't see the appeal. Maybe they think it's just for kids, or too expensive, or too crowded. So today, we're taking the ultimate challenge. How do we convert a Disney doubter into a certified Disney adult? What rides would we take them on? What snacks would we feed them? What are we going to do with them?
I think that's a good future small segment, best bathrooms in each park.
Oh, that could be a bracket.
Best bathroom bracket.
There's 64 bathrooms.
There's definitely more than 64 bathrooms in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you think about, there's probably a really nice bathroom at Victoria and Albert's.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, you have to use...
parks
you
only?
have to leave and go to that bathroom that Citricos and also Enchanted Road uses.
That's...
You gotta dress in basically a tuxedo, and you don't even get your own bathroom?
Nope.
There should be bidets.
Bidet to you, sir.
I'm down for the bathroom bracket. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some field research.
Yeah.
To determine the seating.
Boys, watch your manners.
Yeah, if you can't say something nice.
Boys.
Well, it's funny because this weekend I'm actually taking maybe not a Disney doubter, but Elise hasn't been to Disney since 2010. So she's never been there as an adult who
With money.
has disposable income. Who has
adult
disposable
with
income.
money.
And her boyfriend Pat, I don't think has ever been to Disney World.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So what would we do with them in order to turn them into maybe not our level of making podcasts about Disney, but at least liking Disney, going back once or twice.
Yeah, wanting to go back more than once every 5 years, go every year, go every other year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking specifically of your trip when I was making this list.
Yeah, neither was I.
Oh, okay. So we're not actually doing that.
No, we won't.
Sorry, listeners. We're not trying to specifically convert our friends. However, the first thing that I think of is ease them into things. You don't want them to be stressed out, and you don't want them to be ping-ponging around the park because you're trying to get them on every single ride in Magic Kingdom in one day.
Yeah.
You don't have to introduce them to the chaos of how do I maximize my day. But I also don't rope drop, because I think rope dropping is part of the culture, and it's part of the fun that you got on this really big ride with a short wait. But maybe ease them into that. Maybe you save the rope drop for later on in the trip.
Yeah. Where they've kind of bought in already.
Right, or at least should in theory be bought in. But yeah, but like avoid ping-ponging around the park. So if we're staying in Magic Kingdom, don't take them on Tiana's and then Space Mountain and then the Little Mermaid ride and then Jungle Cruise, and all of a sudden they're like, they've walked back and forth and back and forth. They're not going to be able to enjoy anything. They're not going to be able to enjoy the visuals and the atmosphere. They're just going to be too busy, like, you know.
Just trying to make sure they get everywhere. And I think that kind of leads to one of the things that I would recommend not doing is one of the things that I wouldn't do with them is spend too much time on the app, on the phone, too much time planning, because I think too much time planning, doing your Fast Pass, doing your Lightning Lanes, doing your Genie Plus results in having a 10 a.m. Jungle Cruise, an 11 a.m. Buzz Lightyear, a noon Haunted Mansion, where you're zipping all over the park. I would say, especially if it's your first day, as much as it would probably make you like cringe and itch to do it, I would just abandon the app and the experience of My Disney app altogether and just get on the lines and wait. Go on the rides. You know, maybe certainly. You want to get on that one big ride, maybe make a reservation for Tiana, but abandon all technology other than that and just let them enjoy being in the park.
I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, you definitely don't want them knowing about the My Disney Experience app and like experiencing just how clunky it is and how it really rewards people who are buried in their phones and not out experiencing. But I do think you can use Lightning Lanes to your advantage, but maybe not be so obsessed with the idea of like always holding 3, and you don't have to worry about maximalizing. You have to worry about like, are we having fun?
Yeah. I have as my main one too. You don't need to go on every ride. Like, just take it slow, right? And enjoy the park in itself. Like, you know, sit down once in a while and rest. And, you know, because if you make them tired that first day, then you've kind of lost them maybe day 2 and day 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole trip. Because if you get someone, if you make someone walk 35,000 steps day 1 and then day 2 you're like, okay, wake up at 7 a.m.
We're going to Epcot.
And you're like, you're going to make me do that again?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah. So I wouldn't do multi-pass Lightning Lane because the same thing you guys are saying, like, that's too crazy. That's in your phone the whole time. But I think I would have the single pass Lightning Lanes. I would probably spend money on those so that at least you know you're going to get on 1 or 2 big rides.
Right, yeah. I think it's fine to do, you know, one or 2 of the big rides, but in terms of, like you said, just making sure we always have something to run to next. You don't necessarily need to do that.
No, worry about what they're gonna like, and you know, just have fun.
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios is a park you probably could do the multi pass in, but just don't worry about like picking up new ones. Right. Get your 3 and just enjoy the, you know, if you get the 3 on the multi-pass and you buy Rise, enjoy those 4 rides.
Right.
You know you're getting on 4.
And then go to baseline.
Wait on one other line and go to all the bars.
Yeah.
If you're with a drinker.
Yeah, like I want to make, like, I know you're very, like, you guys are very against lines. Like, I'm not trying to say don't wait on line. I'm just saying, you know, we don't necessarily have to. If you don't get the Lightning Lane, doesn't mean you don't go on the ride.
Right.
You can actually wait on the line for a ride. You can do that. You can do that.
You can
do that.
No, you definitely can.
No, of course you're going to be waiting on some lines.
But I also wouldn't take them on any line that's above like 60 minutes, 50 or 60 minutes.
Sure, but I think that you know, what is the ride? You know, if it's a good ride and you maybe didn't happen to get a pass for that.
Right. You know. Yeah. Hopefully if it's that level of a ride, we do have the single pass.
I think anyone who's going to Disney World, which is something I always say, if you're going to Disney World, I think you've got a little bit of built-in understanding that you're at the end of the day, you're going to a theme park.
Yeah,
you're going to be waiting for stuff.
Like
anyone
if you were
who's
going
been to Six Flags,
right?
You've waited an hour for Batman the Ride,
right?
Like you just have.
Yeah.
I don't think someone waiting 45 minutes or so online for a ride is going to be what turns them away from Disney World.
Right.
If that's what it is, then it wasn't going to work for them to begin with.
Yeah.
I do have on here one quality dinner. And I think
I like that.
In one of our episodes, Sean, you had mentioned
Yeah.
going back to your resort, showering, like putting yourself back together, and then going to a dinner. And I think that would be
making it a
smart
point to have an outfit change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that would be smart to do with them because again, it slows down your day, right? It's less crazy, and you can enjoy yourself at dinner instead of being all sweaty in your park clothes.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the person you're trying to persuade into this lifestyle is a partner or someone, someone you're dating or in a relationship with, and not just maybe a friend. Show them that you can, there's fun, things you can do as a couple. You can have a date night in Disney. It's not just running around with kids.
Yeah.
Right. Or I like the restaurant idea. I like the nice dinner. I also would maybe suggest that be somewhere they didn't realize they could go to. Yeah. As in going to a different resort.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that's a good opportunity to show them a really cool resort. I would suggest Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because there's great restaurants there and a really impressive lobby.
Yeah.
You go, wait, people stay here?
Yeah.
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 Wow, that's really cool.
I thought you were going to use this as an opportunity to mention California Grill again.
Oh, I mean, I could. wait, hold on. Let me.
I want to go back.
Cut that. Let's go back and. It was a really good way to show them the contemporary.
No, Animal Kingdom Lodge checks all the boxes.
Yeah,
that's
great.
things you'd want to show someone.
Yeah, because that is a very magical place. A lot of the resorts are. Wilderness Lodge is a really impressive lobby. But I just think, Jico, Sanaa, and Boma could all kind of qualify as like special meals, even though Boma's more casual.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also cuisine that you're probably not gonna get frequently back home.
Yeah, you're not going to an Italian restaurant.
You wouldn't. I wouldn't necessarily want to bring them to. Even though the steakhouses are really nice, you can go to a steakhouse at home. You can go to a really nice Italian restaurant at home, but bring them somewhere you can get a meal they're not going to have.
Being in New York, we do have some
one or two Italian places,
yeah, and some world-renowned steakhouses too.
Yeah.
So
we don't have to go very far for something like that.
That's true.
Certainly not to Central Florida.
Not going all the way to Naples.
So how about this? A resort day.
Yeah.
A resort day where you are either at the pool or you're resort hopping, showing them all the different places. I think that's a good way to, like you had said, Sean, show them that there's other things other than, It's a Small World and Peter Pan.
Yeah, and that just ties into whether it's a resort day or a pool day or even a spring, just a relaxed day.
Yeah.
Stop the madness in the parks and just have a day where you either sit by the pool or you resort hop a little bit. You could take them on the Skyliner, and
the sixth best ride in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I have as the what not to do's is just extra long days. You don't break it up.
You don't want to bog them down.
Yeah, you have to have time to just get off your feet and even if you strategically kind of space out the half-day parks, Hollywood Studios for a couple hours, and that's your time there,
But with that said, though, I think it would be good to show them Disney World at night, like being in a park, like with to close on time, and as well as a park in open.
Yeah. I mean, right, because you want to show them the full thing so that they can feel the magic, and that's actually one of my points is make the experience feel magical. Do something with them so that they can kind of feel what Disney's about. So the first time I went to a Disney park with Sam, I actually made sure we were at the bar that's on the pier because we were in Disneyland. I made sure we were on that bar that's on the pier at California Adventure during World of Color. So we watched World of Color from there. And it was just a nice little special end to the night, our first night at in the parks together, and it was a really nice time. And I think there's so much opportunity in Disney World to make little moments like that happen.
Book a dessert party, maybe.
Yeah, book a dessert party, book a or even just maybe it's the nice meal you're talking about before, or it could be any of that. It could be just seeing the fireworks and making sure that you've got something set up where I know the spot. I'll just take them to the good spot. we have that unobstructed view, and they can really get immersed in it.
Yeah.
Did you guys figure out where you would stay? Because my thing, I said, stay in the bubble.
Yeah, stay in the bubble,
definitely
definitely.
stay on property. Definitely for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily these days opposed to staying off property.
Agreed.
But I think if you're trying to show someone how great it can be,
Yeah.
you want to stay on property. And I think I'm on my list of don'ts. I'm staying away from deluxe resorts, just because of the cost.
Yeah, you don't want to give them a $5,000 bill at the end of the trip.
Hey, listen, she still married me.
But yeah,
But I also would stay away from the All Stars,
Yeah.
and actually I would probably stay away from All Values too. If I was trying to win someone over,
Yeah.
I would lean towards a moderate. I'd lean towards staying in the Grandestino Tower at Coronado.
Yeah. I think either that or the French Quarter.
Yeah, Port
I think-
Orleans. Port Orleans is definitely a good option.
most places you would
so
go.
is Caribbean Beach, but I do think there's a lot of families at Caribbean
Yes.
Beach.
Yeah. And the French Quarter seems more intimate, seems like more unique.
French Quarter and the Port Orleans, both sides have that very intimate's good, but just kind of it feels out of the way. It feels like there's nobody around really bothering you. And like most places you're going to go on vacation with someone, unless you're staying at like an all-inclusive resort or going on a cruise or something. If you're staying in a hotel, you're probably spending between $180 to $250 at minimum a night. So I don't think you should be afraid to spend that much money on Port Orleans or Coronado, Caribbean Beach. Somewhere in the $260 to $270 maybe a night shouldn't necessarily scare you away.
Right. I think there's like a law of diminishing returns on a hotel room, right? Like anytime you're spending more than like $350 a night on a hotel, you want it to be really good or you're going to be upset.
And you want to spend more time at the hotel.
Right.
Well, maybe, but like if you're in a city, like right, like if you go to like New York City and you try to get a hotel or whatever, you're going to spend $300 for the hotel. But if you're spending once you get into $400, like this better be good.
Right.
Yeah.
So like you haven't yet hit that threshold where there's an expectation that this has to be like, the Waldorf Astoria or like the Plaza or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I felt that before in like when we would go to Atlantic City and it's like $500 to stay in a crappy hotel.
Yeah.
We're staying at Bally's or whatever, and it's the same room that you get for free on Tuesday.
On Tuesdays, yeah.
But because it's Saturday, it's $500, and you're like, this is just a regular hotel room. Why is it $500?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Well, and to that point about staying in the bubble, I would want to have them take Disney transportation. So
Yes.
I would skip the Ubers unless it was like absolutely necessary for some
Right.
reason.
If you're going from your quote home resort to a different resort, you'd have to Uber.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that,
you don't want to waste the time going to Springs and then getting on or going to a park.
I guess it depends. That could be part of taking a bus somewhere to get somewhere else. Could be just another way to show them around Disney.
Oh yeah, you could maybe build the pit stop into it if you like take a bus to Springs and show them something at Springs and then
get a drink
and then take the bus to dinner.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, that leads me to one of my next points is I would not pass up a themed bar or lounge. So as if we're in and this is of course thinking that they drink, right?
Sure.
But if we're in the parks and we pass a themed bar, I'm going to go in there to show them, again, like, a Disney skeptic is probably thinking like, oh, that's just a place for kids. And it's like, no, you can have fun here as an adult too.
You can have fun as an adult in Disney.
And this is an adult thing that you can do,
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
make them listen to our Mouse Madness brackets before they go, so they know all the bars.
They'll know every
to
bar.
not go to, and to go to.
Actually, we're not going to Animal Kingdom. Elise is pretty pissed actually now.
Oh,
She
no.
can't go to the Warung Outpost.
Yeah.
The 4 seed.
or Nomads,
Or
the winner, the champion.
Or the Golden E-ticket
the Golden
champion.
E-ticket winner.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing Animal Kingdom?
Not enough time.
Yeah, we're just 3 parks. So, I mean, that's a good question. Like, what would you do if you were showing someone for the first time and you only had 3 parks to go to, like 3 days of parks? And you don't want to get park hoppers.
It would
what
depend
three
on what
parks
they
you doing?
like. If one of them's a Star Wars fan, you have to go to Hollywood Studios.
Right.
It's definitely, if it's their first time, it's definitely Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom and Epcot, I actually think World Showcase is a must.
Yeah.
That was where I was going, was I think World Showcase at any speed is like, even if you're not a drinker, it's just so much fun to like go into the little shops and talk to the people that are working there. And there's so many like snacks, and it's great people watching, and there's little corners where you can like, you know, like just sit and chill and talk to somebody.
Yeah, the detail, like, you know,
Yeah,
the
it's
architecture.
A couple great bathrooms.
Yes.
And some great bathrooms in case you are participating in drinking around the world.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, and also that's another opportunity to show them like, hey, like, you know, this place is a theme park, but we're in the middle of a theme park. There's a world-class tequila bar in here.
Yeah.
There's you know, the Moroccan Mule is there, of course. And like, it's just so different than what most people are thinking, right? When they think of It's a Small World, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They think of Fantasyland. And
Yes.
and it's so much more than
They
that.
think of scorching hot weather, screaming children, and It's a Small World.
Right. And
Their
their bank account depleted.
Exactly. And they think that it's gonna, which I mean, yes, it's gonna be expensive, but like, yeah, listen, if you're gonna go on vacation, you want to spend money.
Doing things, a day of activities anywhere in the world.
Leaving your house or apartment every single day is expensive.
In this economy, I ain't leaving.
No, but that's a good point. I mean, like if you're gonna go see a concert and it's a 3-4 hour concert of the headliner that you want to see, you know, that's gonna be at least like $200, $300, right?
Yeah.
And you know, so
that's sometimes just a ticket.
that's just a ticket,
Right,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a
These
ticket.
days.
Well, you want to go see a play, a Broadway play,
Right,
You know, you're paying-
$250 for the ticket.
Yeah, probably maybe even more. 400.
Depends on where
you
you're
know.
sitting. Yeah. I mean, I also meant per ticket. So like, if two people are going, it's
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
two
yeah,
tickets
right.
for a Broadway show, you're easily spending $500.
$500. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? I think that taking them, and even though this goes against what I would like to do, I think taking them to Magic Kingdom last would be a good idea.
Is that because you're going to be using the stuff you've been staying away from? Like you'll be on your phone a little bit, doing some lightning lanes, and also you might rope drop that day.
It's very
and
important to rope drop.
I like that idea because you kind of want them to have been bought in
Yes.
before you subject them to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely probably the park they're gonna see the biggest crowds in.
Right.
Right, that too. And it's hardest to get away from the crowds there.
Yeah, and that's true. But I'm typically a Magic Kingdom first day person, just because I always feel like it's not really a Disney trip until you go to the Magic Kingdom. I feel like rope dropping is like you need the 101 class, pass the 101 class, and then that's the next semester is rope dropping, because I just feel like that is way too chaotic of an experience to show someone off the bat. You know, and one of my big and it seems like a silly thing to say when you're talking about Disney World, but trying to, as best you can, stay away from like overly overcrowded areas.
Fair.
You know, as best you can, especially depending on the time of year you're going, especially if it's going to be really hot. I would, but that also, how do you watch the fireworks when you're trying to stay away from crowds? You try to think of a different way to see the fireworks, a dessert party, maybe seeing the fireworks at one of the lagoon resorts.
Oh, California Grill. We got it.
California Grill. But yeah,
Can I suggest Geyser Point?
You can't see the fireworks.
You can't see the fireworks in there. No, you can't.
But yeah, I don't know. I would try to keep them away from the absolute zaniness of it. At least maybe the first time, but
to your point before, like you're gonna wait on lines, you're gonna be in crowds.
Yeah.
I think they got to understand that too. And that's also why I think Magic Kingdom last is good, because you want them to be bought into the trip at that point. You don't want them first showing up to Magic Kingdom being like, oh, this is a little weird. Like there's a mouse around here.
Yeah, and you're like,
yes,
and you're like, I'm seeing these, like. Or if you're not bought in and you're at the fireworks show and you're like, oh, there's people that are like tearing up during the
Yeah.
It's so weird.
This grown man next to me was sobbing.
And that guy was me.
She's so beautiful.
The guy I was with harassed a parent to take their child off their shoulders.
That was Sean.
I'll do it again.
Calm down, Rover. I was only kidding.
Okay, so what are the 5 rides that you think would be most influential in getting someone to buy in?
For me, it's not necessarily 5. I could come up with 5 rides. I could come up with 10 rides. I think it's showing them a ride that is absolutely quintessential Disney.
Okay.
Showing them a ride that shows just how amazing Disney ride technology has come.
Okay, so you're
And-
saying like so the first one, Pirates or Haunted Mansion.
My pick was Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
For that.
Your second one, Rise.
Rise or Guardians. Probably Rise because I think it shows a little bit more ride technology.
Well, Rise is a nice contrast. You look at Pirates and Haunted Mansion as like, this is what it was like in the 70s.
yeah,
And
right.
then you get to show them this is what it's like,
50 years
years later.
Yeah. And then my would be show them a ride that's like not like a cult following, but like something like Spaceship Earth or Living with the Land.
Ooh.
Show them something that's like I mean, it's all Living with the Land is as fun to me as any other ride you'll go on, but like it's not fun.
Yeah.
Air quotes fun.
I think,
but like it's good.
yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I want to circle back to that a little later about a ride like Living with the Land.
Like a Soarin' maybe, or...
Yeah, sure. But like, not something that's not like it's not an in your face IP Disney driven ride.
Right.
But it's still a very good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like Living with the Land is like it's almost a litmus test. If you like Living with the Land, you're in.
Or you just like clean eating.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You really like farming, or you're in.
You're in.
There's like no in between.
Yeah.
So the rides that I came up with, and some of them are repeating, and I didn't pick any of the old rides. I went all new because I think it's about like get them interested in the now and then kind of show them the old stuff.
Sure.
So I have Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, Rise of the Resistance, Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway, Flight of Passage, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I'm trying to show them a little bit of like, this is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the best animatronics, the best storytelling devices, the best thrill ride, like trying to get a little bit of everything.
I went both with you guys. Like if you were to put both of your lists together,
Okay.
I did Guardians, Rise, and Mickey and Minnie for the same reason. Like it is the best that Disney has to offer, and it tells it's storytelling in its best, right? And then I went for a nostalgia ride with the lowest wait time. So that would be either Pirates or Haunted, or maybe Peter Pan. I'll never have the lowest wait.
Early enough in the day of Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because Jungle Cruise doesn't typically open with the park, so sometimes if you're there at 9:10, there might be a 10-minute wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my number 5 was their like favorite ride system or of interest. So if they're a roller coaster person, I'm going to bring them on Rock and Roller Coaster, or if they like the drops, Tower of Terror, something where...
Or if they like something educational and slow, then you take them on Spaceship Earth or Living with the Land.
Right.
Right. You got to learn what they like and give them, because I've said this a million times, I'm going to say it again. There is a Disney World for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're a family with little kids, if you're retirees, like there's a Disney World experience that works.
Yeah.
And is a really great vacation for just about anybody.
That's what makes it so great. It's so accessible to the whole family.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we talked about what rides would be influential to like helping build the positives. Let's go a little bit negative. What are we staying away from?
I mean, I'm not bringing them anywhere near It's a Small World.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
Yep, that's the first one on my list, Small World.
Yeah.
They know what it's about. They know they know the song. they probably don't want to go near it. And quite frankly, I never want to go near it. I usually only ride it because the person I'm with wants to ride it. If I never rode it again, I don't think I'd be too overly upset.
I would like to ride Disneyland's.
Disneyland's is better. Disneyland's is better because it's also the original one. And that one doesn't quite get the same line because it's a little bit out of the way.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's more now because it's close to where Minnie and Mickey's is over in that area.
Runaway Railway is in Disneyland too now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Toontown. It's in the back. Talk about a park with just banger attractions.
Yeah.
Disneyland is also that's where Rise of the Resistance
Yeah.
is. That's where Runaway. I mean, okay, well that's the same as ours.
Yeah.
But
Wait a minute.
I love that idea.
but it's also their castle park. So they've got that's where their pirates is. That's where all the classics are.
Yeah, but their castle stinks though.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So something else I would skip, influencer traps, like a snack or...
a snack with a 30-minute wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess unless they did some like heavy research on TikTok and they really want to, go see the purple wall,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fine, but...
I put all lines over 60 minutes.
Yeah, I had that same thing too.
Yeah. I would have to be pretty rare because I'm using the lightning lanes to my advantage,
Right.
where I'm not gonna subject them to, certainly not gonna subject them to 60 minutes for a 40-year-old ride.
Right.
It's not putting Disney's best foot forward. And honestly, most lines over 45 minutes I'd probably avoid too.
But like if it's Flight of Passage, 60 minutes, you're like, okay.
It's worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not to keep, poo-pooing It's a Small World, but so if it's a small world, if it's over 30 minutes, I'm not going to take
Right,
it.
yeah.
Dumbo-style rides, because there's like a Dumbo in every park, right?
Yeah, just
Basically.
the spinning,
The classic spinner,
flying saucers, teacups kind of ride.
Yeah.
Astro Orbiter. We're not
Astro
going on
Orbiter.
those.
Oh my! Have you ever been on the Astro Orbiter?
I feel like I'm going to die.
Not only that, but it's like it's not meant for people.
It's not
of
meant for a
our
large
size.
person.
Yeah, no.
No.
One of the most uncomfortable experiences I've ever had.
But it is a great view.
It is. It's an insanely good view.
I do remember on past episodes saying that I felt that Big Thunder was just a really uncomfortable experience. And the last time I was there, I rode Big Thunder and came off feeling better than I thought I would. So
Yeah, Big Thunder is not bad. I find that it's the most comfortable of the three roller coasters there. Well, I guess there's 4 roller coasters, but the 3 that people care about.
like Big Thunder, Space Mountain,
And Seven Dwarfs, Mine Train.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think it's the most comfortable of those 3.
Yeah. I mean, Seven Dwarfs would probably be the most comfortable just because I feel like it's newer, so it's just made to make you feel a little better.
No, I think the seat's kind of small.
Oh, okay. In terms of actual spatial comfort.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, other things on it. Hall of Presidents, sorry.
Yeah, I'd
Journey into Imagination.
Not on the first time.
Sorry, Figment.
not on the 5th, 10th, or 15th time.
I think it's still going to be closed. Hall of Presidents when I'm down there next. Also, no chance. We're not going on it. They're not when there's Country Bears and Carousel of Progress and Philharmagic.
That's too many shows. Yeah.
All in the same. You're going to go to here's another show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's another one show, but it's notoriously boring.
Yeah. you haven't been on Country Bears yet, right? The new one?
I haven't been on the new Country Bears yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Your trip report's going to be a good one.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to get Sam on.
Yes.
Honorary geek, Sam.
So I have one.
Yes.
I'm going to skip the summer. I'm not going to take them during the summer. Just I feel like the heat is an added pressure, and it's just something that is maybe unnecessary. So if I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid the summer.
And avoiding the summer gives you, whether it's spring or fall, gives you a festival in Epcot, which is maybe
That's
an
true.
added bonus.
And
If-
winter
Yeah.
Festival of the Arts is in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I think March, April, although March, April is spring break season. If you're trying to avoid crowds, that's not the best time to go either. I like a September or October trip.
Oh, those.
I think
September's
October is
great.
I think October
As long as you're staying away from like the Columbus Day, and the Jewish holidays. As long as you're staying away from those times, I think September, October is probably the best time to go.
And when we were there in October, and it was still hot.
Oh yeah,
but it was nice hot though.
It was good
right.
hot. Yeah.
It was like 78 or 80. It was like not too hot.
Right, but enough to go in the pool.
just enough, enough to
Just
go in the pool.
hot enough where the pool
coming
was
out of
still
the
nice.
pool, you're a little cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then the last one, in honor of my father-in-law, The Seas with Nemo.
Oh,
I'm not making that mistake again. Just not. Sorry.
Yeah. You can get into the seas.
I love the Nemo ride, but yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's necessarily the ride's fault. It was probably shouldn't have been open. It was experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's you can get into the seas a different way too. So
yeah, I mean, you just go. Yeah, you can just walk through the backwards through
exit.
the gift shop. Yeah.
yeah. A sit down breakfast. I'm going to avoid a sit down breakfast.
Oh, of course you are.
Unless, well, I keep
what
on
about
coming
a character
up.
meeting?
Yeah, it would be good for a character meet if they.
Would you
want
do
to
the
that.
character meet and greet, trying to get someone to buy in?
See, that was when you were talking
I
about.
think I would lean towards staying away from it, but except for maybe you get the we do need a picture with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and that's how you get it.
Yeah, and maybe on again towards the end of the trip, so that
You do it on the Magic Kingdom Day. You go to Main Street during the parade. There's no line. If you don't, you skip watching the parade, but you walk in.
Yeah.
All those kids are waiting till after the parade to go see Mickey. There's no line during the parade.
I don't know. You're anti-breakfast or anti just sit down breakfast or the meal in general.
No, the sit down.
Okay, because my
Yeah, I guess you have to have some.
My
food.
problem with a Disney breakfast is that it's no matter if you're at a sit down restaurant or in the food hall at your resort, the food's the same.
Right.
Yeah,
You're getting those same eggs and waffles and
The same
potatoes,
Mickey waffle,
but
that-
just you're paying double the price at a restaurant as opposed to just getting it a quick grab to go.
Yeah.
Well, and the sit down breakfasts are usually buffets, so you wouldn't get that in your mess hall of.
The only reason I
All-Star.
think a sit down character breakfast would be a good idea is that it's potentially a way to get into a park before even a rope drop.
So that used to be a good way to get into to be the first person on rope drop would be to have a sit down breakfast reservation before the park opens. We did that in 2018. We did that with Be Our Guests so that we could get onto Seven Dwarfs Mine Train to be the first ones on that. And we also did that at Garden Grill so that we could be the first ones on Soarin'.
Right.
And it worked out both times.
They also do.
And
They also
back
do.
then, you could bump and run your reservation too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could also do. They do character breakfast at. I don't want to butcher the name, but the restaurant in Norway.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know,
yes.
people come out of there and they get right on Frozen.
Right.
If that's something you're into. Not me personally.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that anymore.
I know they do character breakfasts.
Right, but I wonder if they do it before the park opens.
Oh, okay.
I know
Yeah.
you can't do the bump and run anymore. It's a 2-hour rule.
They smartened up.
They smartened up with that. Yeah.
Some guy from Long Island. They used the IP address. Just kept gaming the system.
Does anyone else have any other stayaways?
I mentioned before the Uber. I'd stay away from Ubers.
Yeah.
Take Disney transportation, and that was it. Oh, Space Mountain. I think that it's just
Stay away from Space Mountain.
Yeah,
Okay, fair.
it's too small.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
seats area.
unless someone is a thrill ride or roller coaster person and just feels like
They have to go on it.
feels like I have to go on it. Sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if I never rode Space Mountain again, I don't think I'd miss it.
It's so funny. I'm going this weekend with right, and I'm like breaking all my rules here. I'm doing a multi-pass lightning lane on the first day. We're like packed full. But we'll see. This is all just suggestions.
But these are not people you're worried about not having a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just trying to show them a good time.
Yeah.
Right. Are we good on stayaways? Because I've got two more other things.
Oh, okay.
I'm good on stayaways. Yeah.
I'm good on
Okay,
stayaways.
cool. Okay, so I have find something within the park culture that this person can embrace. So pin trading is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's small. There's like the trading is interesting because like they're at everything. So there's no like buyer's remorse. You can go like buy a blind box thing and you go, oh, I'm not really crazy about this one. But if you go see one on a board somewhere, you can just swap it with somebody.
What can you explain what a blind box is?
Oh, okay. It's very popular for like little toys where you just buy like a box and it could be one of 12 things and you got to open the box to see
like a
what
Happy
you
Meal.
got, like a Happy Meal when you were a kid.
Yeah.
But now it's all marketed to be like little collectible trinkets. So they do it for the pin trading.
Or Pokemon cards.
Right. Yeah, you got to
Baseball
open the
cards
pack
and-
to
yeah.
figure out what you got and to see if you got something cool.
Yeah. So they do this with pins. You open up the box and you don't know what pin is going to be in there.
Right. You see which one, like, oh, it could be any of these 10.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And you go, okay, that's cool. And you open it up and you go, oh, I got this one.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I'm not really crazy. But there's no buyer's remorse with going for the blind box.
Yeah.
Because there are dozens of those pin boards. Like basically every Disney merch store has a pin board that you can just swap all the time. It's really cool.
Pins really interest me because it's not like there's regulation on this, but like, do we know about how many of these pins were made in order to judge how rare they are and like,
oh yeah, some of them are there's a lot of ones. So Sam does a bit of the pin stuff. I kind of got her into it because I know she likes kind of collecting stuff, and I was like, I showed her the pins and she kind of took right to them. And now like if I go without her or she finds out someone else is going, like sometimes I'll bring her back a pin. Sometimes I buy her ones that are like limited runs. So like a lot of them can be like, some of them are like, oh, they only made 1,000 of these.
Right.
So you buy the one and go, oh, there's one of 1,000.
So
cool.
Disney does release how many?
They've got limited runs. Yeah, you'll see.
It might not tell you on the pin. This is pin 27 of 900.
The really
interesting.
small runs will say that.
Will it really?
Yeah, the really small runs will say that.
Is there a black market for these pins?
A black market
called
just
eBay.
eBay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you can buy them on eBay.
okay, but
But there's also, I guess there is a black market. They do. There are ones that make like, making enamel pins is like, but like there are like things you can look at on a pin to see if it's.
Oh, you mean like counterfeit?
There are
counterfeit.
counterfeits. There
Oh,
are
yeah,
counterfeits.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's a whole interesting area.
And now, if you find a rare pin on a cast member's pin board and you want to trade with them, they have to accept your trade, right? Isn't that something?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I've always felt that that's a little icky if you're. But I guess if it's on the board, it's on the board.
It's on the board, yeah.
It's not like you're. But it's also kind of in pin trader culture to like most stuff is available. Like
I don't
if
really
you're
know too much of the
cool.
lore to say one.
There's
way
a
or
lot
the
of
other.
there's a lot of trading that happens.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon that you can trade like something that's fairly common. If you see something on the board and you're like, oh, I really like that. If it's on the board, you can just get it.
It's funny. It's like it's something that.
But if it's someone's wearing it,
Yeah.
then not always.
Right. Okay. I feel like it's something that I would get into, but if I did get into it, I would get way too much.
I would
into
get
it.
way too into it. Yeah.
Yes, and it would ruin my.
I would
time.
hyperfixate on it,
Yeah.
and I would spend way too much money.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Yeah,
They're cool, fun, nice. If you like pins, go for it. But I stay away from.
No,
those.
they're pretty cool. I just am not like a super huge like completionist.
I'm really a big collector. I'm not really even a big collector of anything.
Yeah, I'm not a completionist. I like get little trinkets and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, oh, I need to get like the full set of this, or I need to get like, oh, like if I like something, I'll just buy it. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I mean, I'm a pin guy now and have like 100 pins.
Right.
I think getting pins is cooler than getting like a new thing of mini ears every time you go.
mini ears are expensive. A lot more expensive than pins, even the rare ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I bought last time I was for my bachelor party, I bought Sam a Muppet Vision 3D pin. Mm-hmm. That was before they announced that it was closing, didn't they?
I bet they have another one, like a limited release.
Well, that one was a limited release.
Oh, actually, you're going to be there like a week before it closes?
Yes.
I bet you they are going
merch
to...
and all sorts of stuff.
There's going to be merch, yeah. There's going to be like last day merch.
I'm going to be one of those eBay guys that just buys them all, the whole shelf.
And then I'm
going to sell it online, and I'm going to make the whole vacation back.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how that works?
That's exactly
It's
how
that
it
easy,
works.
right?
It's
I'm not
like
going to
1,
just
2,
be sitting
3.
on 100 T-shirts for like 3 years, right?
It's like everyone with those jars of water from Splash Mountain.
My mind went to Beanie Babies.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Beanie Babies.
God.
Those are going to pay. That's going to pay for my college right there.
How? That's proprietary.
The last thing is the litmus test. What are you doing with them? Or what are you showing them? Or what is your cue that it worked?
I think, and I know this was mentioned as maybe not necessarily doing, I would do something maybe towards the end of the trip that's just very in your face, unapologetically Disney.
And
whether that is a character meal where it's just going to be silly. It's going to be, maybe a little awkward when the characters come up and bother you during your meal. Something that is just, like I said, it's in your face. You can't really escape it.
okay.
And just kind of see how they react to it.
Yeah,
and
that's a good one.
if they have a good time, I think you might not have a 2 or 3 time a year trip partner, but you've got someone that's at least interested in going back and doing it again.
I was going to say, a lot of times Disney will give you a bounce back offer, and if they're willing to put money back into
So it'll only work if they are immediately like, yeah, I'm gonna go right back.
I think we need to go back. Yeah. No, I also think the fireworks show. So Happily Ever After.
Yeah, that's got to be one of them.
If they get goosebumps during Happily Ever After, that's a good litmus
Watch
test.
them intently to see if they shed a tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to apply new eye makeup right before it starts, so you can see if they've cried.
Yeah, I would say another good litmus test. Living with the Land and Spaceship Earth are great litmus tests to be like, okay, now we're in the nerd stuff.
This is dork territory.
Yeah, like are you in or what? A lot of the stuff that we love, I think, is a good litmus test. The Carousel Progress, Filler Magic.
Yeah.
But the number one thing to me is definitely Happily Ever After. Fireworks show is like...
Maybe when you get back from your trip, you could put on Ron on the Go and
see how they react to that?
See how they react. See if they want to watch Ron on the Go.
I don't think that many people are going to be... I don't put on Ron on the Go. I'm
a co-host on a Disney podcast, and I don't watch.
Right, I don't put him on. Yeah,
no disrespect to Ron.
No, but I actually do. But I do watch Disney. There are some YouTube Disney accounts that I watch for sure.
Yeah, maybe if they're interested in the history of Disney. Well, I guess you have to be interested in history in general.
Yeah, but
you could tell them a great podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they get into it. Maybe they start to get into a certain Disney podcast, or maybe they, a YouTube account like a Defunct Land or Offhand Disney, or there's a bunch of them that are kind of more historical based.
Yeah.
But there's so many great people making content, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So did we do it? Did we make a Disney adult? Do you think?
I guess we'll have to see.
You made me into a Disney adult.
That wasn't hard. Do you think we got time for a game?
I gotta go food shopping.
It's a bit late. Maybe we'll push that off to next week.
Okay.
Or the next week.
Or the week after that.
Yeah, it could be. That sounds like a pretty good week. We don't even know when this is going to come out.
This is all going to depend on JJ's editing schedule.
All right, Sean, why don't you take us out?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the ReedyGeeks podcast. Rate, like, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Any questions, comments, concerns, future ideas, topics, titles, email us at reedygeeks@gmail.com. And check us all on our socials at ReedyGeeks. See you next time.
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand. I'm out of here!
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of Sam from Long Island and Jeannie from Agrabah.
If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopee, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage.